Today's usually a heavy day. Every 4th of July, I'm reminded of my mom who unfortunately passed away before she got the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of her labor. Why 4th of July, you may ask? 4th of July signifies independence. It signifies freedom. And for many countries, they have to fight for that freedom. I didn't have to fight so much for my independence and my freedom because my mom and my dad offered it to me on a platter. My mom once told me of a story where at 8 years old, her parents told her she was no longer going to go to school. She either had to go start doing some menial job or worse off, go get married. She screamed down the whole house shouting, "I want to go to school." I remember her telling me the story. Like, she cried, she literally starved herself for 3 days until she annoyed the whole house and one of her uncles agreed to take her on. He saw her through the end of secondary school, 18 years old. And at that point, she learned how to sew and do other menial jobs. She successfully sent herself and her siblings through college. My mom ended up getting to the peak of her career in 3 organizations, one of which is our Federal Airport Authority in Nigeria. Based on the hand that she was dealt, this should not have been possible. But somehow, she was able to make lemonades out of the lemons that life threw at her. When I was considering coming back from my MBA, I had no money at this point. She had spent all of her life savings trying to save her life. Unfortunately, she was terminally ill with cancer. My mom gave me her debit card. As a matter of fact, I still have that debit card today. She said, "Empty it and go for your MBA." I'm like, how? Most rational people will be thinking about using whatever funds they have left to try to save their life. I'm like, number one, I want to stay by your side. I want to be there with you. She's like, "No, I need you to go." In fact, she said, "Mbano," meaning no in Igbo language. I'm Nigerian. She said, "I've already been told that I'm terminally ill. I'm not going to spend the last funds that I have buying time. I would rather spend it buying certainty. Your certainty. If it's the last thing I'll do, Neka, you will go to America and go for your MBA." When I got to America, story for another day, I dealt with all the culture shock that you can imagine. So many circumstances impacted how I was utilizing this opportunity. I was intimidated in the rooms that I found myself in because I was either the only Black person, the only Nigerian person. I was uncomfortable with my accent. And in that, I lost my voice. I did do great things with my life, but in rooms that mattered, I fear that I didn't use my voice as much as I should have. I allowed the rooms that I entered intimidate me. I didn't anchor to where I was coming from. 4th of July reminds me that, yes, some of the rooms are intimidating and stressful, but at the same time, somebody literally gave me their everything to be able to be here. 4th of July reminds me of the sacrifice that she, my dad, and all the other great people before me have gone through to get what I have right now. If she were here today, like if my mom was here today, how would she have used her voice? And how would she hope that I'm using my voice in the spaces that I'm in? So I'm dedicating this 4th of July to maximizing my potential, to honoring those who have fought for me, to be in the rooms that I now sit in, to leverage every opportunity and look back and help those who are around me. That is my mission, and that is the purpose of me doing this work, is to make sure that everybody around me is fulfilled and is maximizing their God-given potential. That's a question I'm offering you today. Were there people who sacrificed themselves for you to be in the shoes that you're in right now? And even though it's tough, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we aren't going through things, but how can we push through? How can we be resilient in spite of our challenges because of those who fought for us to have the freedoms that we now have? This 4th of July, I'm honoring my mom and all those who have fought for us to have the freedoms that we have today. So let me ask you, how do you like to celebrate your July 4th, and what does it bring up for you? I'd like to know in the comments. I want to wish you a happy 4th of July. I hope you have fun with your families. I hope you recharge for the second half of this year. And to my mother, oh dear mother, I hope I'm doing you proud.